What's up, everybody? It's Dr. G. I hope you guys are doing great. So guys, today I'm just going to get to the point. Some of you have requested that I make a video regarding the cost of applying to residency. Applying to residency is not cheap. We all know that. And in most cases too, sometimes it's not just the application fee. There are like other costs that are associated with that. So today in this video, I will be talking to you guys about what it costs me personally to apply to residency. And keep in mind, guys, when I applied for residency, this was like in the heat of COVID, right in the middle of the pandemic. Residency interviews at that time was mainly on Zoom. So traveling was shut down around the country. We all knew that. Basically 100% of the residency interviews at that time was online. So that really did save applicants a lot of money at that time because you didn't need to travel. You didn't need to factor in, cost of hotel, basically food and all that stuff, like traveling to these different places where you do get invited for an interview. But so that being said, just keep in mind the amounts, like I will be listing today are mainly like how much I spent for applying to residency. But again, I'm not factoring travel or whatnot just because we didn't need to because of COVID times. But of course, as we know, things are starting to look better now from a COVID perspective. So when I list the cost of applying for you here, just also keep in mind that when you do get called for interview, you do have to factor in like how much it's going to cost you, hotel costs, all of those things, because that will also be money that comes out of pocket because the programs are inviting you for residency interviews. They will not be footing the bill for that. Anyway, let's get started. So if you look online on ERAS website, especially for IMGs, guys, when you want to apply for residency, the first things first that you want to do is buy your ERAS token. So ERAS token is basically from the ECFMG, you're basically asking them for permission to create an account with ERAS. ERAS is the electronic residency application service. Okay, this is where you apply for residency, and this is mainly where this cost and everything that I'm going to talk about today, that's where it comes from. So you buy your ERAS token. That's basically the first cost there. It's about $165 now. I think it's slightly increased from when I first paid for it. And then you're able to create an account for yourself. And that way you have access to start submitting applications or looking at programs, researching programs that you might be interested in applying. So that's the first thing. And then the other cost that is also associated with this process is your cost for a USMLE transcript. That's about $80. There's also a one-time fee. You're basically paying ERAS $80 one time to go gather your USMLE transcript. So all of the USMLE exams that you've taken, whether you've passed or failed it, they will go request an official transcript for you and then load that up in ERAS, and that stays there. So it's a one-time fee, so not too bad, right? Okay, now, so let's get down to the main application itself. So your first 10 applications will cost you $99 according to ERAS, okay? So if you just apply to 10 places, that's all you have to pay, $100. But guys, let's face it, who in their right mind will just apply to 10 places, especially if you're an IMG, right? Honestly, the rule of thumb is there is really no magic number of like how many programs you need to apply to as an IMG. But the rule of thumb everywhere, it's like you want to apply to 100 plus programs. I think I applied to about 180 to 190 programs roughly. And that came out to probably a ballpark number of like $6,500. So $6,500 just for application alone. And remember, guys, this application cost is completely non-refundable. So let's say you apply to 200 programs and you don't get a single invite. No one invites you for an interview. You don't match into any program. Well, I hate to break it to you. You will not get any of that money back. You have just spent all of that money for nothing. I know it sucks, but that's the nature of the beast, guys. Apply to as many as you can afford, but also keep in mind that if you do apply to as many as you can afford and you're not able to land any interviews or you don't match into any programs, you will not get this money back. But when you do match into residency, then you see that, well, it was a sacrifice. It was well worth it. I will say that for sure. So we already know it's very competitive. And of course, when you're an IMG, you really want to put your best foot forward, apply to as many programs. But just keep in mind, when you don't match into any place, this money is non-refundable. This is what I think. If I'm going to do it, I'll go all out. So don't be like that applicant that's going to be like, well, I think I'm just going to apply to like 10 to 20 places just to test out the process. And if it doesn't work out this time, then next year I will apply to more places and stuff. Well, when you do that though, the second time around, let's say God forbid you don't match in the first time, the second time around, you are now labeled a second time applicant. And believe me, that dramatically decreases your chances of matching into residency. So I say, if you have everything that you need to apply the first time around, go borrow that money if you need to. Do whatever you have to and go all in the first time around. Honestly, that's what I told myself the first time. I hadn't even graduated medical school when I applied, but I was due to graduate that year. But I said to myself, if I'm going to do it, then we're just going to go all out. So I basically, rather than just say, I'm going to test it out and put out like 20, 30 applications, I say, I'm going to go all out. So it's either I'm all in or I'm not going to apply this year. But thank goodness it ended up working out just fine. One last thing I would like to say, guys, is be sure to research your programs before you go applying, because if a program is not IMG friendly, say they're like, 20-30% IMG friendliness or whatnot, even like 50, 60, 70% IMG friendly, honestly, I'm not even applying or wasting my money in those programs, because if you apply, it's literally a waste of your $26. I used to always tell myself when I was applying, I'm not wasting my $26 on you guys if you're not IMG friendly, period. So spend that money on programs that you feel like you'll be a good fit there, and they'll also be a good fit for you as well. So think of these things before you make a decision as to where you are going to apply or where you should apply. So you're just basically not throwing your money away, right? I'd rather go invest that money in somewhere else where I feel like I have a better chance. That's it for now, guys. If you guys have any questions, any specific questions regarding this, be sure to send me a message, email, comments, or whatnot. Until next time, guys, you'll take care. It's Dr. G. Bye.